Today I am super excited because we're going to be taking a look at the Genesis Coupe. About a year ago I started the wide body kit. I never finished it. It has been at the body shop for the last 3 weeks and a lot of progress has been made. So we're gonna go check up on it now and I'm gonna give you guys pretty much a full rundown of what's going on with it. And I'm super pumped. This thing is going to look great when it's done. Let's head over there. Alrighty, so we are at 360 Composites LLC. This is a body shop. They specialize in wide body cars. They do a lot of SEMA style builds and they also do in-house stuff. So they can literally create wide body kits for your car from scratch using molds and some other stuff. They also work with carbon fiber. So they do a lot of carbon fiber work. This is a car they did completely in forged carbon. So very skilled at what they do and I fully entrusted them to do my car. I didn't spend too much time here because I wanted to let them just work, but I did want to kind of go over some of the things that they encountered, and I'm just going to talk over some of these clips because obviously it's a loud body shop, they're busy. I did the rear flare trimming and mounting as well as the front fender mounting, but there's a lot that needed trimmed off. This car is on air suspension, so in this video it is fully aired out, by the way. This is what the car will look like when it is fully aired out, but I had a lot of fitment issues. I couldn't even air the car out before I brought it here, so a lot of the stuff was already trimmed off by them. This is not the finished product either. This is kind of in the middle of them working on it. The front fenders needed trimmed a lot. So in where the wheel sits, a lot of material needed cut out of here. It's hard to tell that they even cut material out just because of how good they did it, but a lot needed trimmed out behind the wheel here and also on the side of the wheel. The front wheels are 10.5 wide, so it's pretty tight. Another spot that needed a lot of work was up on the A-pillar trim. Same with the hood. That clearance was very bad since I got the kit. This happens if you buy a wide body kit online, especially fiberglass. It's not going to perfectly fit and every car is different, so it's gonna need a lot of work like this, and that's why I wanted to explain this to you guys. In case you're gonna wide body your car or looking into it, just figured I'd give you guys an idea of what it takes to get this to fit the best it can. Same thing on the front passenger fender as well. All this needed trimmed out to get it to be able to fit nicely, but it's coming along very well. The front bumper is the biggest thing. So I had the quick release bumper kit, so it had holes on each corner of the bumper and there was actually no factory mounting tabs anymore because the previous owner cut them off. So that was kind of a roadblock that I didn't know how to overcome. But this wide body kit actually came with front pieces and they molded that to the bumper and it actually has a mounting tab on the back. So not only did we fix the holes in the bumper, now we have a space to actually mount it to the fender and secure it. So that actually came out really good. Obviously the front bumper is gonna need repainted, but that works out because there was rock chips and stuff on it anyways. And obviously I don't have the front grille in there. They're gonna go ahead and repaint that for me too. This is the M&S front grille for the Genesis Coupe. There's a bunch of rock chips and stuff on this one as well. So they're gonna just go ahead and respray it black and then install that for me after the bumper's painted. And we also have my carbon fiber front splitter. So I got this for 50 bucks and it was very beat up. I'm gonna go ahead and re-clear it and redo it. And over here, these two pieces are already in the middle of being cleaned up. So far they're looking really, really good. This piece over here had a giant hole in it and it was just pretty much destroyed on this corner. So you can see where they fixed that up. Awesome job doing that. It looks way better. Moving on to the side skirts, I got new side skirts because my factory ones, all the clips are broken and the front area where the clips actually are held in is also broken. If you have a Genesis Coupe, this is very common. If you remove the side skirts once, they're gonna break, usually. You have to be very careful doing them, and that's the third time I had to remove them. So at that point, they're just too broken to fix. So I got new ones, they're great, they're gonna need painted, but that should fix our side skirt issue. Lastly, we got the rear flares. Now these actually fit out of the box pretty good. There were some areas that needed trimmed up, but the gap between the actual flare and the door, that was actually very good right out of the box. Not much needed to be done there. Same with the area around the side skirt. Fit really, really well. The only area that needed a lot of trimming was, no surprise, around the wheel and also on the fuel door. So the fuel door would open and get caught and it was not a smooth operation. So a lot of that needed trimmed out around there to be able to actually open and close the fuel door good, and that was pretty easy for them. They got that knocked out of the park pretty quickly as well. Now the rear flare is a 2-piece, so there is a seam in between the 2 pieces back here, and like I said, this is still a work in progress, but they're working on cleaning up that space in between there, and also getting a mounting bolt in between those 2 pieces to kind of hold them together too, to prevent sagging, stuff like that. So far, they're doing a great job. It's coming out really, really good. If you guys remember what this kit looked like before, it looks way better now. There were some low spots and stuff as well on this passenger rear flare, but they're getting that filled in and correcting that as well. And that pretty much sums up a lot of the stuff they ran into. So a lot of the fitment issues was with the front fenders, no surprise, but there was a couple things on the rear flares that needed trimmed up as well. Just want to give another huge shout out to 360 Composites. These guys are amazing at what they do, very skilled and very professional. Honestly, they just did an insanely good job. So huge shout out to them again. I'm so glad I didn't try to take this on myself. They did a phenomenal job with the paint match and everything else. So let's get into that now. Alrighty, the Genesis Coupe is back in the shop. We're gonna get to work on this. I'm gonna give a quick walk around of the car since it's completely done as far as the wide body goes too. So here's the wide body Genesis Coupe, all paint matched. We'll start up here in the front. Obviously we got the M&S grille they installed. They also re-cleared my front splitter and went ahead and installed that for me. The biggest piece of the front bumper is these side pieces. That came out awesome. I'm really, really happy with that actually. I don't have to deal with an ugly bumper anymore, and I didn't have to buy a new one, which was really cool. Everything about these front fenders, they got dialed in really, really well. So there's a bunch of fitment issues between the A-pillar here and the hood, and even the door. It would catch on the door a lot. It is dang near perfect. I mean, even this, inside piece, it was not flat at all. They actually ended up remaking this on each side. So a lot of work and effort went into really getting this perfect. Overall too, the paint match, you cannot tell. I mean, it is dang near perfect as well. So again, very impressed with the work. We do still have some stuff to do, which isn't the shop's fault at all, but this side skirt needs to be pushed in the whole way. My pinch welds are actually messed up enough that the side skirts can't go on fully. Also, hence why that one's not even on yet. So we do have to install the side skirts and those little side skirt extensions. Another thing we're gonna have to fix, and again, not the body shop's fault, but I think when I was putting some of these nutserts in for the hardware, I might have damaged the threads a little bit. I tried to be as careful as I could. I don't know if it was the tool I was using, but we are gonna have to get those threaded in, hopefully. What happens is if they're really tight, you can actually end up spinning the nutsert in there, and once that starts spinning, you're kind of screwed. You're never gonna get it to tighten. But other than that, dude, it's so cool to freaking see this thing after all these years. Finally one color, finally pretty much done, aside from the little things we have to do. So let's get started on the bolts and the side skirts then as well. This side skirt is on. The front needs to go in some more. From like here to here, we cannot get the Phillips head screws in because the pinch welds are bent out. So I don't want to take this off. If you guys know, again, you don't want to really remove these a bunch of times. Things will break. I'm going to try to maybe bend some of that back just so we can get the screws in, and then I'm gonna have to figure out what exactly up here is keeping it spaced out. So it's not a lot, but there is something up here that's not allowing it to sit flush. So that's another thing I'll have to look into. The other one is not on at all. So over here, we can just probably take a air hammer and try to just gently get some of that back into place. You can see how bad it is. I mean, it's really bad. So, all right, so we made some really good headway with the car. Actually, all of the hardware for the rear flares are in. I don't know if they're gonna come back out. Somehow I got this stubborn bottom one in as well. I was able to actually hold the rib nut from the inside. Didn't think I could get to it, but I did. We have one problem, which I will show you, but the side skirts are on. Everything underneath is tight and buttoned up. And then we did get our side skirt extensions on. It's just a little piece of, I assume, like ABS plastic that screws onto the bottom. So nothing too crazy, but I really do like the look of it. Our problem in the front is going to be with these side skirts. They do not clip to the wide body flare up here, so we're going to have to figure out something over here. This side isn't actually that bad, and I think I would even let that go, but we're going to fix it. This side, however, is a lot worse. So everything on this side, again, is buttoned up, and the skirt extension, if that's what you want to call it, is on there. But we are going to have to fix this one. This one is not looking good at all. So we're going to have to figure out something for each of the fronts to get those to just kind of suck in. All right, so we already got the back jacked up over there. We're going to go ahead and pull the wheel off and toss the fender liners in. So this is wide bodied now, so I don't know how these are going to fit. But we also do have some new lug nuts here we're gonna toss on. These are red, and I think they're gonna look pretty good.
kind of crazy. You really don't know how big these wheels are until they're off. All right, well, I just had to trim out a little bit of this area in here, and it went right in. So hopefully none of this hits the wheel. I don't think it will, but we will see. I'm just gonna get this thing all fastened up and we'll move over to the other side. All right, so that was pretty easy. Both the rear fender liners are in. We got our new red lug nuts on there as well. Kind of a subtle change, but I actually really like them. Like I said, this side is also done. We got the new lug nuts on here too. And luckily, some of these side skirts were actually kind of peeling off back here. There is a little clip that goes in, and that actually saved us because that made everything kind of nice and flush. So the rear of this car is done. Now we got our spare tires out because both our front tires are completely flat. We're gonna jack up the front, pull these wheels off. I will not be putting the red lugs on just yet because obviously we're putting the spares on. So, but we're gonna try to get the front fender liners in as well. So we got the wheels off, the spare tires are on the front. I didn't mess with anything on this side in terms of fender liner, but I did happen to get this one in. We do have to get some clips down here for the bottom, but I ended up cutting it a lot, so it's really not too interesting, but it's zip tied and all that kind of stuff. So not really the most professional job, but I did want to just get the fender liner in the front and back. That way stuff wasn't kicking back into the side skirts and stuff. So all right, well, the verdict is in. The outer bead on both wheels are leaking severely. The valve stems are actually okay, at least these bigger ones. The ones on the back are leaking for sure. You can see some air bubbles on that one. So we're gonna have to pop the bead on these tires, and I'm sure they just need cleaned up a little bit. Maybe a little bead sealer will help. All right, we're back working on the Genesis. It's a new day. I did get the wheels fixed, or the tires, I should say. I cleaned off some corrosion and put a little bead sealer on them, and then I also put new valve stems in the back. So I did check them. They were all leak tight, so we can go ahead and put these back on, throw the fender liner in on this side, and that's pretty much it for the wheels. Wheels back on there, got the new lug nuts on there just to save time. I got all that banged out. Well guys, we encountered a problem, which I'll explain here in a second, but I'm gonna give you a full last rundown of this video of what we got done, and everything else will have to wait. All right, so I went ahead and used the epoxy on this side and tried to clamp the fender and the side skirt together and glue them. I glued them on the clip, so if this does have to come back apart, it can, but not too easily. But it turned out pretty good. Honestly, we're never gonna get that perfectly flush just because it is never gonna fit like OEM. Honestly guys, that's okay though. I can live with that. Wheels on this side, the fender liners on this side, so everything on this side of the car is done. The tires are holding air again, and I did also glue this side, which clearly did not hold the greatest. I'm gonna have to come back to this later, but that should be okay. I did want to jack the car up to actually get in there better and do the job, but our Daytona jack just failed and no longer works. So honestly guys, I think that's a perfect spot to end this video. I wanted to get that wheel on and that fender liner in as well, but we didn't get to that. So next video, we're gonna come back to that, fix the side skirt, get the wheel on, and get everything finished up here. What a journey this car has been so far, and it's finally taken shape. So it's really cool to see this thing all together. And we're gonna pick it up in the next video and finish up this car right way. It's gonna get detailed and everything else for show season. So we got time. It's still the middle of winter. It just snowed actually. So this is all I can do for now, is just work on it in the garage. But that's all for today, folks. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.